Blessed be all of my friends and spiritual family out there. In this video, we are going to be talking about double action work and double action spells and how to set yourself up an easy, at hand double action candle so that you can get down to business with some double action magic right away. Now, when I keep saying double action, what I'm referring to is basically a spell where the core intention is to get rid of something and replace it with something else. This is a really good spell and technique to learn how to do if you are trying to accomplish maybe multiple aims at the same time, but your spells are not working because you might be trying to accomplish too much at once. One of the biggest things you have to remember about magic or alchemy or hermetic science or any kind of spiritual practice is that the more coherent, the more solid, the more stable and organized a work and your energy and your intentions are, the more impactful they are. The biggest mistake I see a lot of people make is that they often kind of sink into sort of the more new agey kind of salvation consciousness, the fixed my life, all purpose, healing, fix everything kind of mentality. And you really don't want to approach magic that way. And people who are peddling that as this is it are probably just trying to rip you off. What you really want to do is pay attention to what you are trying to do and make sure that you are not getting distracted and scattering your energies and your thoughts and your intentions all over the place. You're just wasting your time. You're just wasting materials. Double action, however, is a good way to be able to at least accomplish more than one function out of a spell while still holding on to one intention. The intention is replace and displace, and that's what we're going to be doing. Essentially, you are getting rid of something you don't want and pushing it out with something that you do want. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a double action candle for that purpose. And you can use this for any pair of purposes. We'll go through it step by step. There are a lot of double action candles out there on the market, but for my own purposes, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of spiritual shops near me that actually sell them and have them ready on hand. And so I often have to kind of make my own or carve up my own or dedicate my own because a lot of the spiritual shops around me tend to be more kind of like very modern, not so into this kind of stuff, or the ones that are just don't seem to have them on hand, probably because they're the only ones that carry them and they're always out of stock. And so if I'm not ordering them online, I'm carving them up and making them myself. A lot of double action candles out there you'll see will have multiple colors to them. Black and white, black and red, black and green are the three most common. The black side be there for you to charge and fill with your energy and the purpose of what you want to get rid of, what you want to replace, displace, and banish and remove. And what you are going to be calling in is covered by whatever the other color is, right? Maybe it's love with red, maybe it's money with green, or if it's white, you can assign it whatever purpose you wish. And so you can do that, of course, if you have those on hand and around yourself. But again, we're going to be carving up, and I'm going to show you how to make one if all you have is something like this on hand, as sometimes I frequently do. You are going to be needing a few tools about yourself. Of course, you're going to need a white candle. I like white candles because, again, white colors the spectrum. You can use it for everything. It's got every color in it, and you can also use it for darker magics and darker works as well, because it also covers that spectrum. I also am going to be working with a couple of anointing oils, one for what I am going to be getting rid of, and one focusing on what I am calling in. Now, for you out there, you might be deciding, thinking about how do you want to go about that? Well, when you focus on what you want to get rid of, you're simply going to be working with some kind of oil that is going to be dedicated towards, or again, vibrates what is going to get rid of things, or that already corresponds to banishment, reversal, removal, and release. Okay, so I've actually got a reversal oil here that I'm going to be using. The label came off. I was cleaning my bottle because sometimes, they'll get oily, they'll get sticky, they'll get glossy when you use them a lot. And then I'm also going to be using Van oil. This is the Lucky Mojo brand, Van oil. This is not a sponsored video. I just really like them. They've been around forever. And I was actually in downtown Seattle recently, and Edge of the Circle Books, which is one of the old magical institutions of Seattle, has them on sale. So I bought that oil there. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the reversing oil to send back and send away and get rid of what I don't want to have in my life, what I want to get out. And then the Van oil, which is, of course, a road opener. It brings in good luck, good fortune. It does also draw in social alliances. It's good for friendship. It's good for love. It's good for money. It's basically an all-purpose attractor for good luck. I'm just going to have that as well for whatever I am trying to bring in. If you don't have any kind of special oil blends or anything like that, you can always use, say, a chili oil like you can probably get at the supermarket for your banishing oil, and then you could use maybe a lavender oil or an orange oil or something like that, and like an orange oil, essential oil diluted, and maybe a carrier oil for your general attraction purposes, if that's what you want. Or if you have an attraction oil or a love oil or a money oil or a good luck oil or a road opener oil, you can use those too. That's fine. Once you have all of that set, that's pretty much all you need. So what I'm going to do is now get down to business and carve up my candles. So I actually carve with a mechanical pencil where I just have the lead withdrawn into the pencil itself. I like to write small and precise, so I don't use a bowline or a knife for my carving purposes. I like to use whatever's on hand. Usually it is a pen or a pencil. And this candle itself is just like one of those emergency candles you could buy at the dollar store in like a pack of 5. So the wax is nice and soft and makes it perfect for carving. So the first thing you want to do is you want to, of course, go as close to halfway in the candle as you can, and you're just going to make an etch or an indentation, and you're going to go around the candle now, and you're going to carve a groove in the candle, essentially putting again a split between where one part of the candle ends and one part of the candle begins. This is also why I like to use a pencil. This can be a bit dangerous if you're using like a knife or something super sharp. I'm allowed to be precise and I don't have to worry about getting sliced. So I would definitely recommend the pencil or the pen method for this. Or if you want to use, like a screwdriver or something, cool. Just be careful with yourself, be smart. Right? Witches and wizards are educated, smart people. We are the nerds of the magical community. Let me see if I can't show you a bit more. Okay, the light is too bright. But I've got a groove, as you can see the indentations there. One portion of the candle clearly dedicated to one, and the other on the bottom dedicated to the other. Since we are going to now be dedicating this and writing on this, you want to get clear on what it is you are looking to get rid of. What are you looking to purge or banish? Now, you could say that you are trying to get rid of a person, or you are maybe looking to banish some kind of hex or curse or malediction. You could then, of course, write that or write the name of what you are looking to get rid of, but write it backwards, mirror writing. Okay, I'll give you an example of what mirror writing looks like. So if I was going to, for instance, put an enemy or enemy's name on there, I would write it like this, all backwards, pointing down. And that could be, maybe I'm banishing enemies, maybe I am returning to sender, anything negative or hostile that's been put against me. Enemies backwards and pointing down. Or again, you could say curses, roadblocks, maledictions, hexes, energy vampires, however you wanted to say it. But I'm going to write down what I'm going to be getting rid of now, and I'm just going to put that on here. Okay. And if you want to just kind of leave it at that, you can just, whatever you have written down, up and down. And now you're going to write, going up from the middle, what is supposed to happen to them, what is supposed to happen with what you're doing. So I might write return to sender. And on the other side of what the name I wrote down, back off. Now, you could say other things. You could say banished be. You could say bitch be gone. Work with some of the classics. Halt gossip. You could say, disappear, however you want it to go. But you keep it very simple and straightforward and to the point. And what you're going to then do after you've carved that, on the other side of your candle, you're going to put symbols that represent what it is. Again, what is the energy that you are trying to invoke to, of course, carry and further along your spell. So since we are working with a banishing, you could work with the energies of the planets. You could put the symbol of Mars. You could put the symbol of Saturn. You could even put the symbol of the moon. Or if you wanted to work with runes and say you wanted to do a banishing and an expelling, this also works for return to sender. You could use the Tear rune, the Hail rune, and the Thorn rune. But don't forget to personalize it. I'm not telling you everything I'm putting on here, but this is the base. And so we've got the top all set up. We've got what we're getting rid of, or who, our intention for what's supposed to happen, all evil they put against you, return to sender, or if you're not getting rid of a person, you're getting rid of a situation, you're getting rid of a thing, you're getting rid of a spell or whatever, then you just say, dissipate, banished be, break away. Maybe you're obstacles, or you're trying to break away, you're trying to, do some block busting, it doesn't matter. Whatever you are telling it to do, keep it simple and straightforward. Now, we're going to go down to the bottom, and we're going to be working on what we are calling in to replace it. So first, you want to put the name of either yourself or who or what you are doing this on behalf of. So you could do this for a friend and use their name and their birth date. You could do this for your business. And so, say for instance, you wanted to put your business name or your website or your social media or whatever on there, you could do that. You could put maybe your address if you're doing it with regards to your house, and do it forwards and going up. Okay, so whatever you're writing, that on behalf of, forwards going up. And so now you want to write down what you are calling in, what you are calling in for yourself or for the other person or for your business or for your house or whatever you're doing this on behalf of. What are you calling in to replace what you are casting out or returning to sender? And so I'm going to write down, what I'm calling in for this person. And so, okay, we've got top taken care of, bottom taken care of. Now, of course, you want to put some symbols of what also corresponds to the intention that you have to call in, right? If you're calling in, say, maybe open roads for somebody. You might want to use, runes that symbolize travel and movement, like the Raito rune. If you are calling in money for somebody, then you might want to use the symbol of Jupiter or the Feihu rune or any kind of symbol of money or wealth. Same goes for love or for healing or whatever you're trying to call in to replace. And so I'm going to do that now. So now that I've got that all carved in, it's time to anoint our candle. And so what you're going to want to do first, I'm going to take off my ring and put that in my pocket so I don't get it full of oil, is you're going to want to be careful with this, because sometimes, you don't want your oils to mix. It's okay if they touch each other a little bit, but I get a little finicky. I always like to try to make sure everything is, not touching. I'm going to take the reversing oil, because that's what I'm doing for the person this is on behalf of. And I'm going to take the reversing oil and I'm going to anoint the top of the candle with that. Now again, if you don't have any kind of reversing blend, or you're just kind of starting out, a chili oil will do fine. Might want to wear some gloves for chili oil. You don't want to burn yourself, or at least wash your hands good. But you're going to want to anoint the top half with what you are going to be sending, the oil that corresponds to whatever you are sending away. Whether you are sending it back to its source, whether you're telling it to go away, or if it's not like a person or a situation, but it's an energy or a spell, or just kind of general harmful energy, harmful influences, toxicity, general, mucky stuff. Make sure that you're putting in, again, some kind of reversal or kind of banishing to get rid of it. Okay. Now, how people anoint is really kind of up to them and how they learned. There really isn't like a hard and fast rule. I know some people out there want to make a religion out of everything because it makes them feel secure and valid whenever they get to do their work, but that's wrong. The truth is, every different tradition, heck, every different family, even when you're going into traditions, has their own way of doing things. The way I like to anoint a double action candle is, or any kind of candle, is I like to, if I'm trying to get rid of something, I go up and out, right? It's like I'm sending the energy away, casting it off. Now, for some people, they have a different line of thinking, and that's totally okay for them. Again, no dogma when it comes to anointing. But when it comes to reversals, I like to start at the center, and with what I'm getting rid of, just flick that bitch off. I'm really focusing on that. Fuck you, go away. Burn in hell. May all of your bullshit come back on you. There we go. Now, what do we want to call in? Well, we're going to take our attraction oil. I'm taking my Van oil. You don't even have to use an attraction oil if you don't want. Like I said, if you have like a sweet orange oil or a lavender oil or something like that, you can use that too. That works for attraction work. We're going to anoint the bottom of the candle with that. Make sure that you don't mix them. As you'll notice, I'm using a different finger. And I'm going to start at the middle, but I'm going to pull that good stuff towards myself. Even if I'm doing this for another person, I like to pull this towards myself, like I'm pulling it towards me, as though I were the person I'm doing the spell for. There we go. And this is basically it, bare bones. You can dust this with different herbs if you'd like. If you really want to get down and dirty, you can dust some cayenne pepper or some black pepper on the top. You could also dust maybe some kind of, sugar or sweeter powder on the bottom. When I say sweeter powder, I mean kind of like a sweet powdered herb, maybe like a rose or even dragon's blood, something like that down the bottom to really kind of cement this is for banishing, this is for attraction. And once you have it set to go, you're going to, of course, then want to place it in your candle holder. Like so. Like so. And when you are going about charging your candle, what you're basically going to do is kind of charge in halves. So taking your hands and, either you want to hold the candle. I don't touch the candle once I've anointed it because I don't want the oils to mix. But you're going to charge that candle to, on the top half, focus again on elimination of whatever it is you're eliminating. Visualizing it glowing really dark, like black, purple, really dark navy blue, or maybe even like a dark brick red, something that carries the vibration of banishing, elimination, blocking, getting rid, right? Pushing that out. And then for the bottom, you're going to come down and then you're going to focus on what you are calling into yourself. So you are technically doing one spell, but it's performing two functions at the same time. And so, say for instance, I was doing a banishing and reversal. Once I got that taken care of, and say on the bottom half, I was doing a road opener. I would visualize a yellow energy or an orange energy brightening up the bottom of the candle. Green for money, pink or red for love, blue for healing, and all of that. But what I would basically be doing is just that. Once you have charged it up to your satisfaction and you can kind of feel the energy coming off of the candle, it's time to light it. Now, if you're doing a reversal, you might want to light it on top of a mirror, like I've got this on top of a mirror here. If you're just doing a simple banishing and you don't care about reversing, you don't need to use a mirror, and away it goes. And that's all you have to do. But double action candles are a good way to cover multiple purposes if you do feel like you need to cover multiple purposes at once without scattering or shattering your magic unduly. So, just something to think about as you go about your work and your practice. Now, I'm going to get down to business and charge this up myself and get this down to business for my boy here. And you all take care. Thank you very much for dropping by, and I will see you all again soon. And don't forget to leave comments in the down bar below. Have a good one.